when I actually see it in person or like on TV, I think it's going to be mind-blowing.
Curling Canada has unveiled the uniforms the Olympic team will be playing in at the upcoming games. It's the first time the artwork on the uniforms features Indigenous imagery. The Toronto artist Patrick Hunter tells us he's a two-spirit Ojibway artist and graphic designer, originally from Red Lake, Ontario.
I'm still sort of like, this is real, right? Like telling my friends.
Some of those designs right over here.
So this is kind of like, this is how I work, which is kind of really old school. I just kind of sketched out what I thought like a jersey would look like, and then, you know, just with rough notes and things like that.
To have your artwork on the jerseys that the curling players representing Canada will be wearing, why did that feel like it was a proper, befitting place for your artwork to be?
Well, I became an artist. Like I really kind of dove into this 8 years ago and kind of quit my job as like a regular, you know, 9-to-5er. And then from there, I was just trying to get my work onto people's walls and pay some bills. And then, you know, once those bills were paid, the intention of the work kind of changed. And I wanted to tell Canadians that there's more stories than just trauma, and they're good stories, and there's a rich culture to kind of ask questions about.
Where did you learn to do this kind of artwork? How did you pick it up?
Oh, good question. I first learned how to, I mean, it was grade 10 art class back in Red Lake that we studied the woodland art form. And then from there, I kind of really understood. I had a good teacher, and she just sort of gave me the right lens to look at Indigenous artwork through.
Hunter says from there, his journey eventually took him to college, where he took graphic design before eventually moving to Toronto.
After a couple of years of doing original pieces for people, I was like, oh yeah, you're a graphic designer. So then I started putting it onto clothes and mugs and, you know, different products. And then from there, you know, you meet people and the work resonates with them.
Something different that we haven't seen before on our uniforms.
Nolan Thiessen with Curling Canada is one of the people Patrick's artwork struck a chord with, along with their uniform partners, Dynasty Curling. Word of his work reached the organization, and they approached him back in the spring.
You know, to me, it's obviously art, but it's very visual. It's you know, looking at it and saying, you know, are the curlers going to want to wear this? But also, you know, is it a cool story?
You have to take into account, like, when they move, like, what images are you going to see on the actual shirt, whereas I'm just kind of used to putting stuff right on the front for everyone to see.
His advice for other aspiring artists: be yourself.
It wasn't until I really leaned into who I am as a person, like as a gay man, but then also as an Indigenous person as well. That's when when I infused that into the artwork, that's when it really started to resonate with people.
For City News, I'm David Zura.